Okay, so we're here at the Stanthorpe Organic Farmers Markets, and what I'm doing is talking about, the whole concept of value adding and to make a stall profitable. This is a remarkably successful little stall where people come back every week and you get to know the locals. It's a wonderful community atmosphere here. I just love coming along and people come and talk to me about their problems on the farm and so forth. But it's an opportunity to talk. It's an opportunity to talk for a moment about our home garden range. And so I'll mention some of those things because there's not really anything quite like it in the marketplace as it stands. So for example, this little product here is a product called Total Cover. Now it's developed specifically for the home garden market, and it involves everything conceivable. It's got every trace mineral, cobalt, selenium, molybdenum. It's got tricontinol. It's got amino acids. It's got fulvic, kelp. It's got NPK, and the trace minerals are quite high levels. In fact, it's very similar to our 1010 product, very popular commercial product, but we've doubled up on the trace minerals because home gardeners don't do trace minerals many times. So if we're trying to grow nutrient-dense medicinal food with forgotten flavors in your home garden, then you need to have that broad spectrum nutrition. So we include Total Cover. Now, the only thing that can't go in this formula, and it's relative to the phosphorus component in this formula, calcium and phosphate don't go together. So we have a second input, and that input is called Trio. And that includes the two things that don't go with phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and the Trio relates to the third component. It's a little extra boron. Even though there's boron here, boron is so deficient in so many soils that for the home garden, we have Trio, calcium, magnesium, boron with a lot of kelp and a lot of fulvic acid to collate those materials and some amino acids. So you alternate them. You can't put them together, but that's just like a complete nutrition story for the home garden. You alternate Trio and Total Cover, and you've got this wonderful healthy crop. So from a soil conditioning and a complete soil fertilizer perspective, we utilize a product called Life Force Gold, and so we have our Life Force Home Gardener's Guide, which you can get online. The Life Force Gold's a pelletized, I'll just show you the pellet. Okay, a pelletized composted fertilizer, and you can get it in a powdered form as well. So pelletized or powdered, and basically it's got everything in it. We've just included everything, all those obscure trace minerals. It's got some gypsum, some guano, and so forth. And it's a really good starter fertilizer in agriculture, or of course for the home gardener. It sort of covers all bases. So that's your soil. So if you were to put this in your soil and then use Total Cover and Trio, you really kind of covered every base. There are other things, there's other stimulants and things you can use, but that's a really good start. We took some Life Force Gold powder and brewed it just to see what kind of microbial counts. So actually we extracted it, which means you put it in a bucket and blast the hell out of it. We got ridiculously high counts, so it's very active. Even in the pellet form, because there's no heat used in the pellet formation, it's still absolutely filled with beneficial organisms. So we've introduced things into the home market like humic acid, that's never been used before for some weird reason in the home market. So we just take a tablespoon of these soluble granules into a watering can and water that onto your crop or onto your soil or whatever. We've got things like of course our beneficial anaerobic BAM. You can get it in even smaller containers. In fact, that's the home garden version, and this is 69 beneficial anaerobes that have got multiple purposes, including pouring it down your septic tank and not having to pay to get the septic tank clean because it eats it up for you. But wonderful soil conditioner, wonderful for disease control, and you can brew it up yourself. You can multiply. You put this into a 10-litre bucket with the same amount of molasses, and with a little breathing valve, like a home brewing valve on the top, and you can turn that into 10 litres, and it'll last for 2 years. So it's wonderfully user-friendly, and you just use it with everything. You put it on the leaf, in the soil, and that's called BAM. Now, this is a bit large for the home garden, but it does come in small packs as well. This is called FulvX. It's a bit of a breakthrough with the story of humic and fulvic acid. A FulvX is a combination equally of both, and it's completely soluble and completely compatible with everything. So you can put it with anything at all to magnify and stabilize whatever you choose to put it with. And of course, all the other biological benefits associated with humic and fulvic acid, which is the stimulation of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and so forth, and this wonderful plant growth stimulant with this auxin-like hormone effect that expands the roots of the plants.
Oh, they're all beautiful. They're fresh, just in
the home range and sort of in the agricultural range as well, is this combination of humic and fulvic acid in what's called a sodium humate, which is what's more appropriate for animal health. And this is the horse saver version of it. So it's got some trace minerals added into the humic and fulvic acid, and it's just this wonderful prebiotic. It's just it sort of increases feed efficiency quite dramatically, but it boosts immunity, and it has this wonderful animal health response. Even in the smaller story, where we've put it into a product called Pet Saver. This is for your dog or your cat or your budgie, and you're putting tiny amounts, half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon of this humic acid mix. What we find is people say, look, I've got an 8-year-old dog that's acting like an 18-year-old dog, and they give literally a week after beginning supplementation of half a teaspoon with this a day, we get all these reports of the dogs like a 3-year-old. It's ridiculously regenerative. And most people don't know about its potential. So it's wonderful, boosts immunity, boosts the health of the animal. Generally, people, you're not allowed to, but people will put it into capsules and take it themselves. It's quite safe for that purpose. In terms of that animal health side of things, and we do small bottles of this. This is called Mother Love Livestock Tonic. And this is the idea of apple cider vinegar, but a double ferment, so super concentrated apple cider vinegar, organic, of course, and raw, really, really visible mother in this product. And I won't go, maybe on the farm I'll talk about the benefits of apple cider vinegar for yourself and, of course, for your animals. The one other thing that we include in the home range is the concept of wood vinegar. Now, you may have heard me talk about wood vinegar previously on blogs and so forth, but it really is something that I think will be one of the 5 or 6 essentials in regenerative agriculture. And of course, the home gardener knows nothing about it to this point. But wood vinegar is the byproduct of making biochar. So you basically condense the smoke from biochar, and you've got all of the volatile compounds that are now formed in that smoke as it condenses, and you've got all sorts of phenolic compounds. You've got things quite similar to fulvic acid, but it's quite unique things. There's a component called carrageenans. Now, the word carrack means smoke in Aboriginal. And of course, we knew the Aboriginals did this gentle burn, and the smoke triggered the germination of certain seeds. So what they've found now that this whole group of chemicals have been termed, using the Aboriginal word, have been termed carrageenans. And they find it's not just specific native species. Everything responds to a treatment of wood vinegar in terms of a seed treatment, but it doesn't stop there. It's a wonderful plant life, a soil life stimulant with really, really big increases in soil life counts. It's a wonderful plant growth stimulant, and it also it will stop snails on your garden, for example. You can use it as an insecticide, whether it's the smell of the smoke or some other compounds, but many people are using it in the home garden scenario to keep insects off their crop. We just completed a little agricultural trial with the university where big crop of brassica, treated and untreated. The brassica untreated, of course, without any other sprays, was a mass of holes, heaps of caterpillars eating it, and not a single caterpillar, and twice the size of the broccoli heads on the ACC. Now, that was twice a week spraying, so it was quite intensive, but an incredible outcome, not a single bite. So wonderful for the home gardener to have an organic, chemical-free insect management tool. Okay, so that's given you a bit of an idea of the potential of the NTS home garden range. We'll be talking about a whole bunch of other things on the farm later on. Thank you.